रिज्यूमे मैंने आपको भेजा है.
Fine, we have everyone.
Okay, so good morning and good afternoon, guys. Let's start with the session. And so today's agenda would be to understand about the continuous integration, continuous deployment, continuous delivery, and we'll see how we can achieve all these things via Jenkins. In parallel, we'll be talking about few other tools and few other things that how we can integrate it with Jenkins. So we'll be writing a very basic programs and all, and we, with the help of which we'll be I'll show you that how we can do the continuous integrations and these steps. And parallelly, like this will entirely go up till tomorrow, like where we will be covering up the Jenkins. We'll be talking about little bit about SonarQube, little bit about Maven, that and Git already we talked about, so Git, and also about the different pipelines of the Jenkins, and how we are going to install it and do the configurations and all these things. Now, so parallelly the topics which I have told about that I will be talking about. So these are the topics like for which there could be different things. Like instead of Maven, someone could use Ant, someone can use Gradle, or someone can use any other Artifactory or the build tools and all. So we'll not discuss Maven completely in detail. We'll discuss the required things only. And if anyone like has any questions or anything related to that, do let me know, because like so our focus would be like to mainly tell or to mainly work on the Jenkins and see how the things work with Jenkins, how you can integrate all the other third-party tools or stuffs with Jenkins, and perform your pipeline, create your pipelines and perform the continuous integration and these process. Okay, so let's try to understand this, the continuous integration process and these things. And then so first we'll try to understand with few of the scenarios, and then we'll understand with the different things. Until now, whatever the way you have done the coding and you have done things, so coding part will be same. You are going to write the programmings and these stuffs in the similar fashion, which you are, whichever language you like. I really like don't have any issues. You want Python, you write with Python. You want Java, you write with Java. Whatever the language you are good with, you write with that. However, for demo purpose, we will be using a small Java programs, and I'll give you some assignments with related to Python programs also, so which you can do with the Python or whatever the language you want to do. Okay, now let's talk about the traditional integration process. So the traditional integration process, how it used to work was that we used to have like a different development team, a different test team, and then different deployment team, or like probably the combination of development and test team, or the development team itself go and do the deployment. Okay, or sometimes operation team also do the deployment of these stuffs. That depends on which level of operation you are working on, that is L2 or L3, if I talk about the industry terminologies. Now in traditional integration, the problem was that you see that you have a lot of gaps, because development team will work on the code, they will build it, then the test team will work, then you will deploy, and like this until the product is not built, they were not going to deploy it very frequently. So it takes a lot of time, there were a lot of risk, there are a lot of conflicts and these things which used to happen. Nowadays, like we see that we have different kind of issues and different kind of things when we work with the traditional method which we used to follow by now or before Agile. So these are some of the problems. If we like list out few of them, so I see that these are some of the problems that okay, sometimes the API version, whatever the last was there, it is not being like that is not being pushed to the newer version. The latest version of code we are getting very late, or sometimes the entire implementation details has been changed, so the test team has to write a different test suite only, or the some or other kind of tools, some or other kind of issues which we used to face with related to the late delivery or the late deployment of the code. Now with help of these, what happened that basically a process came up with known as a continuous integration. Continuous integration is a process. Okay, Jenkins is a tool which support that process, whereas continuous integration is a process which helps you to make sure that your your code and is getting built up frequently, and testing and the deployment process is happening frequently, means you are doing everything uh, in a less period of time and in a smaller chunk, rather than building the entire product and then deploying it. You are doing it in a smaller chunk so that it would be easier for every one of you to track the things properly. So continuous integration is a process which helps you to uh, keep a track of the whatever the code changes and things are there in whatever code are going to be built. So it keeps a track of those all changes. Okay. Now, how this process work is that basically like you split the code into the segments or into some parts. Like it's like basically like if the entire final release or the final product has some 4 features, so you split it into different 4 features, and it will go with the like first feature will be released first, then second, then third and fourth. So like different features will be released at a different time. So means by the end of the product ready, what is going to happen, that 4 people like 4 check-ins have been made, and then at the end like the final product will be ready. And this would be the continuous process which would be like going on for everything, like for testing, for deployment, and for all the things. It will be the continuous process. Now this process is a very efficient and a very fast process to achieve all the things, because it helps you to reduce the time gaps. Okay. And it helps you to build your code frequently. It helps you as a tester to test the codes frequently and to find the bugs. And also it gives you time to do the things, because you have to just focus on a particular feature or on a particular story, whichever is a part of that sprint, rather than focusing on the different things at a time. Now this process helps your increases your productivity, improves your quality, and reduces your risk and these things. So with this, there are 2-3 different terminologies which came up, like that is, one is the continuous integration, one CD stands for continuous delivery, as well as continuous deployment. Continuous integration, we got to know that it is a process of automating the code and the like building it frequently, these things. Continuous delivery means your code is ready to deploy. Okay, it means it is ready to deploy or ready to deliver. And deployment means that it is like now that it can be deployed. Okay, now we can deploy it. So all these are three are what? These three are the process. Okay, and with the help of a Jenkins, we can achieve this process. Now it's not that only the Jenkins is one of the tools which can be helpful here. There are a lot of tools available in the market, but if you see the trend, there are only 2 popular tools as of now. One is Jenkins, another one is GitLab. But among Jenkins and GitLab, again, if you see the trend for last 5 years, so the trend says that Jenkins is only the most popular one, because Jenkins has moved to cloud and everything. Like even GitLab is also there, but it is being widely used and widely liked in the industry. So that's the reason they are using it. Okay, now it has some of the principles, some of the practices which we should make sure that we should follow these kind of principles and practices to give the best and the efficient deliverables. So the principle says that maintain a single source repository. So where like it's like the GitHub, you have maintained a single source of repository where everyone will be checking into your master, into your remote repository, and will merge the code and do the things. Automate the build activity means rather than manually building the things, rather than running manually the build commands and all, automate the build activity. Make your build self-testing means make like include the test cases. If you are writing in Java, then JUnit. If you are writing in Python, so there are Python unit tests and all these things. So you have to make sure that you automate those building tests also. That it should do. Every commit should be built on an integration machine, means after like once you have made the final commit and these things in the code, so it is ready for the build. That's how you should ensure. Okay, it says a test in a clone of the production environment. So what happens, like normally we do mistakes these days, that we do test the things in a development environment. We don't test the things in a production environment, or the kind of the same kind of a production environment which is there actually, because development environment is something where you play around completely and you do whatever customizations and things you want, whereas you can't do the things in the production. And when the code goes in production, like just fail, or like you see that a code has crashed or a website or application has crashed. That is the reason this CI principle recommends that you should make a clone of a production environment and like treat it as your dev environment or a test environment, whatever you want to, and clone test your application there. Okay. Now, apart from that, there are other practices which says that when done, then commit all the changes to the repository. The CI server, that is your Jenkins, basically, it should able to monitor the repository and check out like whatever the changes are happening. It should able to build a system, release it, deploy it, test it, and do all the things. If test fails, it should able to send the notifications and all these things. So this is how you achieve all this. Like it's a complete process where you, as I mentioned earlier, also quite a lot of time that you check in your code from Git. After you have checked in your code from Git, you so Jenkins will able to pull your code. Then it should automatically build it. Then it should automatically test it, and then it should automatically deploy it. So that's how this entire integration, deliverable, and deployment process goes on. Any questions still here? Okay, so let's talk about the few of the popular CI tools. These are the few of the popular CI tools which are available in the market. But as I mentioned, Jenkins is one of the most popular and widely liked in the industry. That's the reason we are using based on the trends. Every tool has some or other features. Every tool has some or other customizations, and the concept and the process of all the tools are same. It's just the UI changes. It's just the terminology changes by them. Okay, so there is no such like difference. There is no such thing that okay, why should I use only Jenkins, or if I use Jenkins I can't work on GitLab. It's just the UI changes and the features and the few of the, because every, of course, if they are building, you are building some new product, you will come up with some new features or some new things. So that's how it is, just difference. That is the difference. Apart from that, there is no difference. And at the end, every tool has their own pros and cons. Okay, now coming to the main thing, the important part, that is a Jenkins. Now to understand Jenkins and to this things, let's understand a bit of the hierarchy structure. So Jenkins, we know, first of all, Jenkins is what? It is an open source tool. Okay, it is an open source tool which helps you to achieve the CI and CD process. Okay, it is very easy to install, it is very easy to configure, and all these things are there, extensible, and all these features we have. But if you understand from the Jenkins architecture point of view, it basically works if you relate it from your IT point of view. So what happens? Let's say that let's understand with taking the example of the and giving the role to the people here. Let's say that Prasad is a senior manager, Saurabh is manager, and Babita, Umang, and Yash, and all other people who are there, they all are working here. Now, Prasad being a senior manager, what he will do? He will allocate the task to manager, or he will allocate, or he will give the directions to manager, that is Saurabh. Now, as a manager, Saurabh, what he will do, that he will not do those tasks himself, right? That if Prasad has told him 10 tasks, so he will not do those 10 tasks himself, that he will start writing the code on his own. He will allocate all those tasks to the team, or to his team. Okay, whatever his team, the size of the team is, he is managing, he will allocate those tasks to him. Now, all those teams are what? They are doing the work. Okay, once they have done the work, they will again inform to manager, and manager will like at the end inform to senior manager, and this is how this process goes on, and this cycle keeps on going every time. Now let's try to relate it with the Jenkins. Jenkins is nothing. Okay, it does not do anything on its own. It has nothing to do on its own. It does not have any capability. Okay, it sounds weird right now, but once we'll relate it, you will get to know how and why. Jenkins has more than 1,000 plugins. Jenkins has more than 1,000 plugins. Whatever the task, whatever the action is being performed, that is being performed by plugins only. Okay, whatever the things are there, they always being performed by plugins. Jenkins does not know what is Java, what is Maven, what is Docker, what is Kubernetes, or what is your Python. Okay, Jenkins does not know what is it. It is a plugin which tells Jenkins that this is this. Okay, it's a platform where it has given everything in a same at a same place or at one place. So when you install those plugins or when you use those plugins, so those plugins are what? Those plugins is my team. Okay, Jenkins basically tells so you give instructions to Jenkins, and Jenkins basically check that plugin. Okay, for this, which plugin I have or which tool I can use to perform this task, and that tool will be performing your task. It will allocate that to that plugin that task to run the or to execute whatever the action statements you have provided. Let's understand with an example. So for Git, you install a plugin in Jenkins. Now, Jenkins does not know what is Git, but once you have installed a plugin into Git, you do some configuration and you configure your repository and these things in the Jenkins in the Git plugin. Once you have done those configuration, after that, what happened is you basically tell uh, Jenkins that okay, if I make some changes into the Git repository, it should be automatic. The code should be automatically tested and built. Okay. Now, once you say that okay, code should be automatically built and tested, so Jenkins know that this changes where should from which will look that what changes has been done. It will tell Git that okay, you have this task, check this task. That if any like keep on polling to the Git and check that okay, if you can able to find that any changes are coming or not. If any changes are coming, okay, then after that it will ask Maven, hey Maven, build this code. As soon as Git says that okay, this is done, you start building the code. Once the code has been built, and it will ask testng or selenium or whatever test tool you are using. With that tool, that okay, testing tool, you start your work. Okay, and then at the end the deployment tool, you start your deployment activity. So this is how this entire activity goes on. So Jenkins is the open source tool which helps you to achieve the CI/CD process, which basically helps you to manage and control your code, your build, your test, your deploy, and help you to achieve the this entire continuous integration process. Okay, now it has lot of features. It is open source. It has a large community. Okay, and a lot of plugins. It is a very fast. You can easily customize your URLs and these things host on the cloud. Okay, you can install it on any kind of operating system. There are a lot of scripts which you can write. You can write a groovy script, you can write a shell script, you can write Python script. So it does not restrict you that no, for me you should know this language only. Okay, it is the companies which restrict you that no, if you are working in Jenkins, I want groovy only or I want Python only. But ideally Jenkins is not restricting you to write anything to that no, you should know this programming language. But based on the company requirements and in the client requirements, you are restricted to that particular programming language and you work on that programming language. Okay, anyone has any question here? I hope the process and things that how Jenkins is clear to everyone. If not, no questions, then let's move ahead. So features I already told. Plugin. Okay. Now we'll take the overview of the UI and everything in few minutes. However, before that, Jenkins has the very important part in Jenkins is plugins, and it has a tab completely which is known as a plugin tab, and like from there you can see that what are the plugins which are installed, whatever the plugins which are available, whatever the plugins which needs update, or what are the some other kind of the advanced option like the proxy, the firewall, and the other security settings which you can do it from there. Okay, or if you have some of your own custom plugin or things you have created, so how you can upload it. Okay, that is a very advanced step. Now each and everything in Jenkins which you create, that is known as project. Okay, that is known as a separate project. Means Umang will create his own project name as Umang1. Okay, Saurabh will create his own project name as Saurabh2. Swarupa will create her project. Okay, Prasad will create hers. Sanmukha, Yash, everyone will create their own project. Now those projects can be of different types. You can create a freestyle project. Freestyle project means you will be like it has a lot of other features, like with help of which you will combine it with the SCM and do the things and steps. Then you have a multi-configuration project, means where you can combine multiple environments and the other things also together. Then you have something which is related with GitHub only, means everything is coming from Git only. But the most important one is the most being used is freestyle project and the pipeline. Pipeline is a very important concept which we build in Jenkins and which is a very important to understand. Okay, the pipeline and these things. So this pipeline thing we'll be covering up tomorrow. But pipeline is very important thing to understand and how pipeline and how these things work. Okay. Now, before this and before all the steps, I'll tell you that how you can install the things and all, and then we'll give you some time, if time allows, to perform the demonstrations. Okay, now to install Jenkins, okay, the first important requirement is that you should have Java 8. Okay, Jenkins mandatory thing is that Java 8 should be installed on your system. Now, Jenkins does not support any other versions apart from Java 8. For now, Java 10 also it is not supporting. Okay, it is right now Jenkins support only this. Now, if you have Java installed in your system, so what you can do, you can go to this and you can just type Java minus version. It will tell whether Java is installed or not. In this system, Java is not installed, so it is not showing anything. Okay, is my voice coming clear, guys? My internet is very bad.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, Sachin. For me, it's good.
No, actually, for me, the voice is coming in chunks in between. I mean, not every time, but after every 5 minutes, it's in chunks.
And what about, like, is it the same for other Prasad, Saurabh?
For me, it's okay.
Yeah, for me it's fine.
Then your network issue.
I'm connecting via audio. I mean, the dialing by the phone.
Okay, no, I'm connecting via the computer audio.
Okay, no problem. But this site will take a little time because of the continuous rain in Bangalore. Like this, internet is very bad these days. But if you go to this Jenkins site, you will go to the option name as downloads, and you have to download the long stable version for Jenkins and like the LTS version, because you like every time you should go with the stable version. So you can just download and you will see that there are two things. One will be Jenkins.war file, another would be download just saying your Windows Jenkins file. And like the step is like with Jenkins.war how it is installed, I will show you, and with Windows step how it works, I'll show you that also. So with Windows, what happens that as you install your VLC media player or something, it will go with that way. But with the other tools, if I talk about the Jenkins war file, so with Jenkins war file, like you can just run a small Java command wherever is your Jenkins. So you just run as you run your Java program, Java minus jar, and you give the path of Jenkins.war file. It will start your Jenkins. Okay, it will start your Jenkins. Okay.
Sachin, so we need Java or we need to follow this other process?
No. For Jenkins, you need Java at any cost.
Okay.
Jenkins, the entire framework of Jenkins is written in Java, so you need Java.
So first we need to install Java and then
Yeah,
then
but any one of you, every one of you, if you are going to work on AWS and the Linux instance, don't do anything until I am saying what to do. Okay, I'll give you the commands how to install Java in Linux. Okay, but anyways, once suppose I have installed Jenkins and everything is done, I get this kind of a screen. When I try to hit the Jenkins URL, I get this kind of a screen. And this says that it will basically store your initial admin password at this particular directory. Okay, it will store at this particular directory your initial admin password. From there, you can go and you can get the password. And let me show that how this UI works. Okay. So you have to be in root to get to know this secret. Okay. If you're not in root, you will not be able to find that. And here this is initial admin password file. If you do this, and if I copy this and if I paste this, so okay, now as soon as you do this, so to start it with, Jenkins have some most of recommended plugins which it says that you can install that, or you can go and you can select your own plugins to install. So let's say if I do this, install suggested plugins. Okay, I've just disabled that. Is my internet like bad? Try to connect to a different internet. Okay, meanwhile, so everyone focus here. So to install the Java, we will be using this. Okay, yum install this command. Okay. So Babita, once you have pasted that command, so to paste, you just have to right click of the mouse key. Copy,
Yes.
paste here and just hit enter. Okay. Now, so once everyone has, and after that you will see some prompt and you have to click Y. That means yes. So it will install the Java. Yum is the repository basically which helps you to install any of the command or any of the tools which you want to install. You can install with the help of Yum utility. Now, once your installation process is completed, what you have to do, you have to type a command as java minus version, because you have to make sure that whether the Java has been installed or not. So to make sure that whether Java has been installed or not, what I will do, I will run the command as java minus version. This will tell me that you see that my Java has been installed in normally in these um, Linux servers. We have OpenJDK, so we'll have the OpenJDK 1.8 version. We have the runtime JRE environment as 1.8 version. Okay.
Yeah.
So Babita, are you here?
Yes.
Okay. Now, once you are done with that, what you have to do is that you have to run this command. So it is quite similar to your Windows. In Windows, what you do, you basically set the environment variable. So here, this is a temporarily setting, because here we are setting it until this session is on. As soon as this session is off, you will not able to see this thing. Okay. So you again have to run this command to set your Java path. So this can be done permanently also, by setting the bash profile, but we are skipping it for now. Now, once we are done with this part, so this says that my Java is installed. Okay, my Java is installed and I don't have to do anything with further here with the installation of Java.
We
Now,
need to export this thing.
huh?
We need to do export and then this command. Is it?
No, I have pinged that command in the chat window, right? That export Java_home. So you have to copy that command and paste it here. That's it.
Okay.
In the chat window, I have pasted one command, right?
Yeah.
Now, once you are done with that, after that, I have pasted another command in chat window. And if you run that command, if you paste that command directly, just copy that command and paste it here and hit enter. So what this command is doing for other people. So meanwhile, Babita, you can do this. For other people, what it is doing, it is basically going to Jenkins repository and getting the package, the Jenkins package. Okay. And it will basically, it will fetch that package in your server. Now, once that is done, then we have to add that repository, normal process of the GitHub. What we have to do, we have to add that repository. So Babita, are you done with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, after that I pasted another command which starting with sudo rpm. So that command. Now this command is doing nothing. This command is importing that the other keys and other things for your Jenkins. Okay, everyone, I hope everyone is able to follow me. Guys, please give your confirmation.
Yes, I'm on the same page now.
Okay, now type this command which I have pasted. And this will install the Jenkins. This will install the Jenkins. It will ask for Y and N. Just click on Y. It will take a couple of minutes for us to install. Let's wait for it to be installed.
Hello Sachin, this time you took a separate instance. That's why it's getting installed again for you, right?
Right.
Okay.
Saurabh, it is opening for me. You see, I have opened your IP only 18.219.196. You see, I am here.
But I don't know, maybe some
अरे आप
firewall issue.
server से कर रहे हो browser पे. You have to do it on browser, right? We have to do this. We have to run this in the browser. Okay. Now my Jenkins is installed. So I hope Babita for you also it is installed.
Yes.
Great. Then run this command. Basically this command, what it will do, it will start my Jenkins. Okay. It will start my Jenkins. After that, what I do, I have to run the status command. Okay. After that, run this another command. As soon as you run this command, it will show some line and it will show here that this Jenkins is active now. Okay, it will show that Jenkins has been loaded, and so init.d is basically the boot process in all the servers. Okay, in all the Unix Linux servers, and it has been started from there, and Jenkins is started. Once you go here, so Babita, you see this screen?
Yes, I am on the same screen. Yeah.
Great. Now press escape. Exclamatory, or just press escape, escape and exclamatory. Sorry, press escape colon exclamatory. Are you able to come out from this?
No. Escape.
So you have, so guys, please press escape, then shift plus colon, and then shift plus one. Shift plus
Sachin,
colon.
I
And
think
shift
you said
plus one.
Q to type Q earlier.
Yeah, there are other things, but right, also with help of which you can skip it, but you can skip it from this also. How? Who else has? Yes, Keshav.
uh, after installation Jenkins, there is sudo su -1 command is there. No, what is that, Sachin?
Yeah, so sudo su minus command is basically to take you to root user. Okay,
Uh,
to the root user. So in Windows, if you do, you right click and do run as administrator, whereas in Linux, to go to root user, you do sudo su minus. Babita, are you able to come out?
No, Sachin. I'm doing.
So press one by one. What I am saying, press one by one. Press escape first, then press shift plus colon, and then press shift plus one.
Yeah, I did the same before also.
Yeah, I'm doing the same here. I'm in this screen. Escape. Sorry, escape, shift plus colon, and shift plus one. I'm out. Okay, if you are not able to do that, do one thing. You see here, right? This white in your putty, right?
Yeah. One second.
Right click there and click on duplicate session. Are you able to do that?
I need to do this sudo. Can you paste this command, please?
No, you came out of this window.
This root window.
One second. So once we have installed this and enabled this Jenkins, what we will do, we'll go to my AWS instance. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
can you go to AWS instance?
Yes. Okay.
Once we have enabled the Jenkins, what we will do, we will start and we will put this IP and we'll put the colon 8080, your instance IP and 8080. And if you hit enter now, can you hit enter now? So if you hit enter now, you should able to go to the Jenkins page. It will land you to the default Jenkins page. Okay. So let's wait and see how is it going. So now you will see that now the Jenkins page will load for her, because the reason it was not loading that because the security group was not configured. The firewall has blocked it. Okay. Now everyone who is, if they are on this page, now can you copy this var lib Jenkins thing? Great. Control C. Go to your server putty window. Great. Write more space. Paste that. Enter. Okay, can you do sudo su minus sudo space su
Sudo.
space do control W. Achha, leave it. Don't do anything. Come to the end. Now, once we got the password from that initial admin, this particular file, we will paste it here and then we'll click on continue. Okay, so let's click on continue. Now it basically asks you that whether you want to customize the Jenkins or like via the installing the suggested plugins or select the plugins to install. Now, is anyone is having any issue? Just let me know. Are we all on the same page? I want answer from each and everyone on the ping window.
And it is asking, opening this window also where username is blank, password.
Click never there.
Sachin, actually, due to my network issue, I struck up somewhere.
Can you tell your name?
Keshav.
Where you stuck, sir?
I struck actually that is sudo su minus I gave. It will taken to root user. Now after that, I gave that start command of Jenkins. It is saying that command not found. That is the reason I struck up there.
No problem. We'll come back to you afterwards then. So let it be then. Okay. But now I can't repeat for anyone, to be honest.
No issues. Please continue.
Okay. Now customize Jenkins is there. Now you can click on install suggested plugins. So let's install the suggested or the recommended plugins which has been there by the by this only. Okay. So let's click on install suggested plugins. Double click it, please. Now you see that it is installing the plugins for me and it is getting auto refresh on its own. So whatever the plugins and these things will be there, they will be installed. Like you see that and plugin is there, Gradle plugin is there, Mailer. So by default, it takes most of the plugins which we have already in the Jenkins. Okay, so let's wait for this plugins to be installed. And I hope everyone is able to install the plugin. Great. Now, once we are done with that, it will ask me to create my admin user because until now I don't had any user. So Jenkins gives me the initial admin password so that we can log into that URL. Okay, we can log into that URL. So now once the installation is being done, what we will do, we will wait here to create the users for everyone. Now, can you type admin in username, ADMIN, and password also same? The confirm password also same. You can give the name as admin. And you can give your email ID, please. So every one of us, we can create this user here and let me know once we are done. We'll wait for 1 minute. So I hope every one of you have created the user, right? Now, once every one of you have created the user, what you can do that you can just click on save and finish and you can click on next. So may I know the, like Saurabh, are you done?
Yes, Sachin.
Swarupa?
Yes, I am done. The page has been opened.
Okay, so now this is my Jenkins UI. Okay, this is my Jenkins UI here.
It's admin.
So this is
Capitally in both.
so you can, any one of you like can access anyone because we are on cloud. Okay. Now, once we have loaded, once we landed here, we will see the dashboard of Jenkins. Now, everyone, let's focus here, please, and please go with little bit with my pace because I have to increase my pace now. This is my username, which I can see here. Here you can log out. You can search for any projects if you have created here. This is the basically my Jenkins settings icons. Okay. Now this build queue and build executor, what does it mean? Let's try to understand this. Let's say we have to create a new project. We'll click on new item. Okay. We'll click on new item. I'll give it a name as a test. Okay. Now in the project, as I told you that we see multiple options. We will go with the freestyle project for now and we'll click on OK. As soon as you click on OK, you get a page where you can configure the things. Let's try to understand these options. This is a description which will say that, which you can basically type anything. This is my test project. Okay. You can type in plain text or you can type in HTML also if you want. So any of the thing which you like, you can type, and if you click on preview, it will show you preview. Basically it is not coming. HTML also comes here. Might some plugin is not there. So but you, let's type this is my test project. Now let's understand each and every option and focus here on my screen. So discard old builds. What does it mean? Basically that whatever, so when you run suppose some project and when you start building it, building project means that if you are running a Java project, you don't give the code to anyone, right? You give a jar file to them. Jar is what? Jar is your package, your executable. Or if you download anything, you get .exe folder. That is your final package, final file. So if you want to discard the previous builds, you can select this. If you are using some GitHub project, you can select that. And if you want to throttle build, throttle means that you don't want that all the builds should go in together, right? One completed, then another, then completed, then another. So what you can do that you can pass the timing here. Okay, that how much timing you want to put. After 1 minute, another build should be running. Okay, and you can choose the time period here. Now, if your project is parameterized, means there are certain projects in which you have to give some arguments, some parameters to run. So you can use those. Now, here you can choose any of the source code management. That is either your Git or your Subversion, any of that you can choose. Now you can, it says that build triggers. We will come to that, what does it all means.
But Sachin, one question in the source code management. Yeah, when you say Git, can you click on Git?
Yeah, so
then okay, so you will give the repository URL. Okay, got it.
Okay, so once you click on Git here, what you basically get, you have to give the repository URL. If it is a public repository, you don't need to give the password. But if it is a private repository, you have to add the passwords and username also. So let's select none here. Let's understand similarly Subversion. You can give the Subversion repository URL. We will be using Git, so we will be using giving Git. Now let's understand this build triggers. Now build trigger says, first thing it says trigger build remotely, means that if you want to trigger the build from some external scripts, okay, if you press this, it will ask you for some authentication token. Means if you want to build your if you want to build your project via the Jenkins but via some script, means you have written one Python script or one shell script in which you will be passing that URL which will be building your repository. So for that you should have some authentication, right? And then you can build it up. I'll show you how we can do this. Then build after other projects are built, means if you have multiple projects and some project is dependent on this project, or if you want that when the project 1 is built, then your project 2 should build, then your project 3 should build. So it is basically known as a job chaining. It is known as job chaining. And job chaining means that one project is built and after that another. So once you click this, you can specify the another projects. Okay, and you can choose the option that if the first build is stable, then only build another. or if the first build is unstable, then also you can make it. So this is how you can choose the options. Build periodically. This is the important thing. It works like your cron job, okay, cron job or your schedulers. The best part with Jenkins is that if you don't understand anything, just click on this question mark. This is a tooltip which basically loads each and everything for you and which tells you that what exactly it is doing. So it is a cron feature. Now let me close this off. This cron feature, so basically you can see the cron tab, that how this cron tabs is nothing. It is like a task scheduler in Windows. What does it mean? That if you schedule your task, if you schedule something or some script, let's say if you have to delete some file or some logs every 2 hours. In Windows, what you do? In Windows, you go to task scheduler. Okay, you go to this task scheduler and from schedule your task. Okay, from here you can schedule your task. Okay, similarly in Linux environment you can do, or in the Jenkins you can do it via the cron. So you have to understand that what does this cron means. Okay, star 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 means this has some 5 parameters. Okay, cron has some 5 parameters and it means that it will run every minute. Okay, let me tell you what this cron tab means. There was very good there's very good one website which gives you very great thing. It should come on my this cron tab guru is one of the very good website. Now let's say if I put star 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 star, it says at every minute it will run. Okay, at every minute it will run. Basically the first parameter means at what minute you want to run, second parameter means at what hour, third means what day, and fourth means what month, and then this week, any week of the day. Let's say if I want to run it on every Monday, okay, every month at second of every month at Monday at 2:30.
Hello.
Yeah.
You have made a
Okay,
confusion between hours and minutes.
I was not able to hear you in between.
Oh, okay. So let me repeat it. So the first parameter means minutes, the second means hour, third means day, fourth means month, and the fifth means day. What does it says? That if let's say if I have to run some job every Monday, some job at second of every month on Monday at 2:30. I repeat, second of every month on Monday at 2:30. So 2:30 means 2 hour 30 minutes. Second of every month means second day of every month. Every means star. Star will denote every. Okay. And what week I have to run? I have to run on Monday only. So it will run this job at every Monday on this. So you see now next it will run at 13th July 2:30 because 13th July is at Monday. Okay. So this is how this cron tab like works. So basically you have to schedule it. As I said, if you put star, 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 and this, so it will run at every minute. If you want to run any job at every 10 minutes, just put 10 and star, star, star. This will run it at every.
But Sachin, when you put all 5 stars, then every minute it will create a new build?
Right.
Okay.
So this is this clear? The cron thing is clear to everyone?
Yes.
Great. Now, so similarly, this cron scheduler, this works here also. Okay. So let's disable this for now.
Sachin?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this last part I'm clear, but I have a few questions about this build triggers. So because maybe I am not able to get it completely. So when we say this build trigger, so this is basically deriving how and when I need to
Build a job.
and these are the options, right?
Right, right.
So, so by default, like when I'm saying this, so is it like a specific tool which it will be using for build, or how it is going to do?
Yes, yes, yes. You will be using specific tool. We'll come to that how you can configure that.
Okay, so in case if I say
Second.
trigger build remotely, so sorry, Prasad, just 1 minute.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
you go ahead.
So build trigger. So when you say trigger build remotely, so if I understood it correctly, this is using some external scripts, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay, and and other one you are talking about the chaining build after other projects are built.
The job chaining.
So, so like basically on in terms of if there are dependencies and all, then I can use this, right?
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah, Prasad.
Yeah, so here we are saying this is on a very on every build level. So let's consider if I have 2 builds or 2-3 build scripts, and one has to run on a particular day, second has to run on a particular day. So how do you configure that?
Yeah, you will for every build you will have the different project only, right, for that build.
Okay, so in a project you cannot have different scripts and different builds.
No, so that okay. So this I am creating one project. Okay, this entire project will take off this. So build will be one only, right? You will not have 3 builds in a one project. One project will build you one package. Build is what? It is a package of all your scripts and all combined together, right? So one project will have only one build, right? You will never create if you are creating application, you will not create 2 build for that, right? Like why do we create 2 build for that?
Yeah, I think the definition of a project is a bit different. Okay, but that's fine.
So it's basically like
If you are having one relation between a project and a build, then it's fine.
So okay, now once we are okay, let me go to this. Now another option is poll SCM, means if you are taking it from Git and like if you are pulling your repository from Git, then you have to pull the source code management. Okay, source control management. Then again, this is via this thing only. Okay, and this is one GitHub hook trigger. We will talk about this and how you can do it via the hook trigger. Hook trigger is nothing. When you say that there is a continuous integration means that as soon as you have pushed the code to GitHub, okay, as soon as you have pushed the code to GitHub, you should able to get it. Like Jenkins should automatically build that project. For that, we have a different hook triggers, which we have to configure it in the Git. Okay, which we have to configure it in the Git. So how you can configure that? You have to go to GitHub. Okay. Let's say for this repository, I have to configure the hook. I'll go to settings and I'll go to this webhooks. Add webhook. Now in add webhook, I'll give here my Jenkins URL. Okay, whatever my URL was there, I'll give. Let's say this is my URL. I will give this URL. I'll give content type as application JSON, and I'm not like giving any secret and all. And it says just the push event, means either you have to send everything or just the push event. So as soon as the push event will be performed into Git, this Jenkins URL, it will get to know that okay, it will keep on polling and it will check for this push event. As soon as you have performed the push event, it will go and it will build your project, okay, or repository, whatever you have created. Okay, now let's understand other things also. Build environment means
So Sachin, which URL you have given in webhook?
this Jenkins URL I'll give. Like my Jenkins URL I have to give on which my Jenkins is running.
Okay.
Now build environment means that if you have to like use some secret text and all this, you can use it. If you have to add some timestamp to console output, I'll tell you what is console output and all. This will tell you. Workspace is what I'll tell you. In some time we'll go through with all this. Now comes what build step you want to add. whether you want to execute some Windows bash command, whether you want to execute some shell command. Let's say that we want to execute shell command here, and we want to say echo hi, this is Sachin, your DevOps trainer. Okay, I'll add this. If you want to execute another build command or some another build step, like if you want to invoke some Maven script, so you will put Maven and you have to give the path and all those things. We will have all the demo of all these things. Now post build action means once your project has been built, after that, suppose you want to send out an email that my build has been successful or fail, so you can add email notifications. Okay, you can add some if you want to set a GitHub commit status, you can do that. If you want to delete the workspace, you can do that. What is workspace? Again, we'll come back to that. If you want to build some other project, you can do that. But for now, let's put this and let me apply and save it. This is saved. Now I am in, if you see to your Jenkins dashboard, I am into this my test project. Now this test project right now, there has been no build. Now let's understand few more things before going ahead further. There are two icons here, okay, which we are basically generated via your weather report. Just give me a moment, I'll be back in a minute.
वेदर रिपोर्ट दे रहा तो ऊपर से आज के समाचार भी दे देता.
Okay, now this basically shows you the status and these things, these icons which are here. The first icon shows you whether your project has been built or not. Dark or this complete dark means that it has not been built on. This tells you the current build status. Okay, current build status. We'll see how these icons will change in coming in few minutes. Okay, now these icons get changed based on the, if your build is failed, it will be cloudy weather. One in this, I think this one will tell that how many of build has been passed or failed. One will tell that the status of the current build. Okay, I'm just confused between which one will tell what. I'll tell you in some time. This will tell you last success, failure, and how much time it took. You can go and you can schedule your build or you can run your build from here. But before that, now you can manage your users and these things. You can create more users and you can manage the users from here. Okay, we'll see how we can manage the users and how we can create these things. You can check your build history from this build history. Okay, if any build has been done. Now the important tab is this one, manage Jenkins. This is the most important tab. With the manage Jenkins, you can configure the global settings and path from this via the system configuration configure system. Okay, your plugins can be installed from this. Okay, the manage plugins can be installed from this. Now if you see this manage plugin option, right now under the available plugins, you can see that what all plugins are available. Okay, what all plugins are already like available for you to install it. Updates will tell you what all plugins have need an update, and installed will tell you what all plugins are there which have been installed. Okay, which has been installed. You can see these all plugins are there which has been already installed. Okay, by default. Okay, now let's go back to dashboard. Now under manage Jenkins, So this is the most important, from where you can install the plugins. From here, you will see that how we can do some settings for the environment variable and all. Okay, how you can configure the users and the other security, and how you can check your system information. It will tell you all your system related information. System log will show you all the logs related details. Okay, and if you want to work with Jenkins CLI, so you can work from here definitely. So we'll go through with all these options as and when we are going to work in future. Now let's go back to our dashboard. This is the dashboard. Now build executor, right now by default there are 2 build executors configured. If you go to this, okay, this tells that in which path your Jenkins is installed. Okay,
Sachin, 1 minute. We need to create this project right now. We need to do
no,
all these steps.
no, please follow the video after, like after the session.
Okay.
So this home directory will tell you in which directory the Jenkins is installed. System message basically tells that what is the like whatever message you want to display. Let's say I have written this is the demo for Jenkins. I'll show you that where it comes and how it is important. This hash of executors say that how many build you want to run parallelly. How many build you want to run parallelly. It says that. Okay, right now I say that 2. If I increase it 3, so it will execute 3. So now if suppose you have 2 builds which has executed and which are executing right now parallelly, and if you want to execute third one, so third one will come in this build queue. Once this will complete, then only it will go into build executor. Okay, now these are again some, like lot of options are there. These are again some options like how you can use it. Okay, and how you, what are the quiet period, like when you want your build to be stopped. Again from question mark you can see more about that. Now this is my Jenkins URL. This will tell that okay, this is my Jenkins URL. Okay, this will tell you that what is your email address. Okay, what is your email address? This will tell you your email address. Prasad, I hope this address is correct.
No. After my surname, attach cloud.
Okay, so here you will configure your email address and you can change your URL from here. If you want to give host name instead of IP, you can change from here. Okay, let's apply and save it. It's saved. Now you see here I'm getting, this is the demo for Jenkins. So basically this is important. Like let's say if some maintenance is going on. Okay, or if this is some Jenkins, so let's say that this is some Jenkins test environment. Okay, where you want some of your fresher people or these people to try anything. So you can just paste it here. So anyone is coming, you can do that. You can use HTML also, so it will look more bold. Okay. So you can configure the things and settings here. Under the manage Jenkins, everything will be there and it will be displayed only to the admin people. Any questions here?
Sachin, this build executor status, I was not able to follow that completely with you.
Yeah.
When it says 2, how come it came as 2?
So in the manage Jenkins, I have set it as 2. Configure system. By default, it says that parallelly only 2 builds can run. You can increase it also. Okay, you can increase it also. If I click save here, you see now it came 3. So this tells us how many builds can run parallelly.
When you say, go ahead, Prasad.
Sorry, I'm just saying that will depend upon the JVM of your EC2 machine, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
When I say parallelly, it means that if you have 3 projects configured, okay, let's say that 3 of them are going to build at the same time. So all 3 will be executed differently, right? Like you will build, let's say you have one more job created. So you will, that job also is scheduled to build every minute. This is also scheduled to build every minute. So if, it will build one for test project, other for test project 1, 2, 3. And if other will be there, they will be in queue.
Correct. That's what my question, Sachin. So
Hmm.
when you say 3 build executor, whether it's for the same project or different. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not a different one. Now let's say if I go to test proj and I click on, now if you want to do again that some configuration, suppose you missed any configuration, you can go to configure and it will take you back to this screen. But let's come back to my test proj.
Sachin, over here in this screen, configure screen, you have written something on the build, right? Can you go to the build tab?
I have written,
Yes.
I'm running it from Linux environment at print this thing. To print anything in Linux, this is the command echo and print your statement.
Sachin,
Hmm.
like this project, for this particular project, if the same project is running in a production environment and the development environment, even if one build will deploy both the projects, or do we need to have a parameterized something like that?
Yes, so that is your configuration, how you are configuring it to deploy. You want to deploy in production and test both, or you want to deploy it in one. As I said at a very starting, Jenkins is not doing anything on its own. It is doing what you are telling it. Okay, it is your robot. Whatever you are telling, it will do that. If you ask it to deploy it on two servers, it will deploy in 2. If you ask it to deploy in 10, it will deploy it on 10.
Sachin, so I am still not able to follow this build part. Can you repeat? So what
Okay.
exactly is this?
So
When you
build
say
path
command?
means if I run this job, okay, if I run this job, let's say I have some Maven project. Okay. At that point of time, I'll give here, and let's say I'm adding this. I'll give here. So if you guys know Maven, there is a goals and these things. I'll configure my Maven and all these things here, and it will basically build that project. Now build is what? See, a very simple thing. What to build? You are configuring the build, right? But what to build? You have to give it some input, right? Some code to build it. So here I am asking it that go to shell in the Linux command, in the shell, run this command. Okay, run this command. And I'm asking it also to run this pwd just to check that in which current directory it is right now. These are the 2 steps which I'm asking it to run it. Build is what? Build means that if you run, let's say if you are running that, okay, delete this file, that is your build, right? Your commands are what? Those will only help you to build the things. In another 2 minutes, you will be able to see what it is doing. Sorry.
No, actually, this add build steps. So there were some steps which were already there.
Yeah,
So
that comes with plugin. For Windows
plugins.
patch command is there. This if ANT plugin is not there, it will not be there. If Gradle plugin
Correct.
is not there, it will not be there.
So I was just asking, like, in case if I have some build which might have a different process, which does not go via Ant or Gradle, or maybe Maven, I do not have a Maven build for it. So in that case, I need to have a separate plugin for that, right?
True.
Okay. And just wanted to check with you. So in some, say if there's a legacy application which I'm working on in my project, and there was a Jenkins pipeline which was configured. So in that case, so for that, say if the build process is something for which I do not have a plugin, so that cannot be automated, right?
No.
Is that
True. Yeah. Either you should have some way. Otherwise, if you have some script, script which will basically initiate those commands. Okay. Like let's say as I have written execute shell. So if you run that script, if you put that script in the execute shell, that will do. That will in that way you can create the build job.
okay?
Means if you are running something manually, so you have to write those commands and it will do that.
Okay.
Okay, now everyone, I'm in this project. I will click on build now. I'll build this. See, as soon as I've clicked on build now, this executor started running and it ran. This says success. Okay. This is my first executor of this build. Now this is there. It will tell that, okay, this is build 1. What I want to see that output which I have given, right? So I'll come here and you see I got output. It says that it has to run this command So it gave me the output. Hi, this is Sachin, your DevOps trainer, and currently I am in this project. Currently I am in this folder. Okay. Now, okay, if let's understand this. Now, where live Jenkins is a folder where every Jenkins is installed. Workspace is something where all your projects will be saved. Jenkins is installed where? It is installed on your server. Whatever you are creating, all those configurations should be saved on your server, right? So under the workspace folder, it will save everything. If you go to your server and if you type this, if you go there, you will see test project already created there. And you can see this is as a success. If you want to delete build, you can delete it. You can check it. Let's go back to dashboard before any questions. Now you see the status of build is success. Okay. You can, if you want to build it again, you can go here and you click on build now. It will build it again and it will get refresh. It should get refreshed. No. Now you see that this second build also done. Okay. So now, now let's try to make some mistake, do some mistakes. Okay. Let me do here pwdl and let me delete this. Now there is no command name as pwdl in the there is no such command. Okay, I want to execute this command. So it is saved. Now you see builder good. I have a good weather right now, blue cloud. I click on build now. Okay, I've clicked on twice. You see it got failed. Let's see the console output. And it should give me that no command. You see this, it says command not found because there is no such command. So if you get this kind of things, it is tell you that, okay, it has failed. This is how you can build your projects manually from Jenkins and you can see all this builds. Any questions here? Go ahead.
Yes, Sachin, I have one question regarding the build storage path which you are showing. So if you go to build 1 or build 2, so you're saying this is the place where my builds are stored.
Yeah.
Now I wanted to check, like, does it give the build version also? Which build version is it? Or
so test proj is your project.
correct.
There will be lot of different files. If you go in this, I don't have access to this, like I'm using Prasad server, right? So I don't have, basically I can access it, but I don't have this thing. Key pair actually, otherwise I would have showed it. Prasad, can you mail me your key, please?
Yes,
That's
give me a
fine.
minute.
Actually, so yeah, so basically my question is, like, in case if I, because of any issues, somebody has done a change, so your build 3 and build 4 failed, and in that case, or maybe say if that passes also, so if I wanted to roll back to my previous builds.
No, it is not a version control.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying, like, in Jenkins, I want to specifically say, like, if I wanted to run a specific build, can I do that?
I'm not running any
So I
specific.
bypass the build. I have already build stored in my RT factory. Now pick that build and deploy it. Can I only do this part?
Yes, you have to create only the deploy job. Why you will create a build job? You will not create a build job. You will ignore the add build steps.
Correct, because if I do not check anything, okay. So you're saying that in the configure where you are showing the build, there I have to just do not select anything and then it will directly deploy. Or from
Right.
where it will pick up the version, like which
that you will give. You will give it a repository and those things. That I take this thing. Jenkins don't know anything. If you are
can you show me once where you're
see here, you will go to configure. Okay. So now if you are doing the deploy one, okay, you will not add anything for build. Let's say you are deploying it from, you will be deploying it from GitHub repo only. You have to here give the repository URL, right? In which that build will be stored. You have to add that repository here. You have to add the branch, to which branch it is stored, everything.
Correct. So,
Sachin. Yeah, Saurabh, you
sorry,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you complete, then I will ask. It's my.
Sorry. So, Sachin, the point is so what you are mentioning is, say, if I already have the Jenkins project created, and I'm using that as an automated build process. Whenever I'm doing the change, I'm just following this entire automation to do a build and deploy. Now, if I only have to deploy, I have to create a separate project with respective values, and then I can use that for that specific task. And later, if I say that's basically one-time job, so I need to delete it once again and then use the existing ones.
Right, and by tomorrow you will forget this manual job also, manual thing also. When we'll talk about pipeline, in that, and then you will then there will be a different complete perception for you.
Correct, because my only question is about linking this build storage, which we are using as Artifactory or any other tool to store our builds. So what I understand, if we are storing our builds, that is basically for us to have a reference of those builds and use them in case if we wanted to roll back our versions in any environment. So if I am saying running in production, my build 4 is running
there
in.
there could be certain plugin, or there could be something by which we might able to do by using some script or something, but to my understanding it is not there, because build is something what your code is running. You have deployed your code. Let's say you have a code known as print hello world. Okay, now that print hello world code you will specify here that, okay, let's say you have uploaded in Git repo. Now as soon as you build, it will print that hello world, it will execute that code, right? If it is a Java, it will create a class file, right? Like it will execute that things and it will give you the output. Now that is your build. Build is what? That is your output, whatever your code has been executed and done the things, right?
Correct, because my only see from where I'm coming from is say sometimes what happens, I do not wanted to give my build to each and every developer in the team. So I wanted to have a controlled build environment where I'll build once and I'll deploy it at multiple places. So
there is a user profile, there is a user control issue. Don't worry. You can completely control your users. They will not even able to do the build. Like the one which you want to do, you can control it. We'll come to matrix user in the next minutes. The next topic.
Yeah, maybe I'll check with you the point which I'm discussing later.
Okay, any other questions? Bhavita, Swarupa, who was that?
Yeah. Sachin, the code wherein you have written the shell scripting, generally what type of code goes there? I mean, now just you have written, I am your trainer, but does it come with all the scripting commands like CP and all, wherein you write?
Anything which you can write in shell script, everything you can write here.
This is basically actually whatever you have, what code you have in your Git repository will push it to the server, right? This build.
No, I'm running this on the server. This whatever I'm writing here, that will be performed on the server. I have not given Git repository. How it will know that what is my Git repository?
So whatever changes has been made in the Git after building this, it will push to the server, right? I mean, I did not get this. I mean, what this execute shell, what it is doing?
What this is doing? Command prompt.
Okay.
You type here anything, it will display you, right? I'll just write execute Windows bash command. Now I can write Windows command here. This was for the basically, if you want to execute some commands, commands also while building your project, you there might be situation that, okay, whenever you are logging to server, you are on and you want in some other directory and you want to go to root. Okay, so you will write here cd root and then add build step, and then you will invoke your Maven script or your Gradle script or your ANT script, whatever it is, right? And that
Okay.
will going to help you. So if
Okay, like you can write a stepwise program as well in the shell script wherein you need to perform those actions.
true.
Okay.
Aman, Yash, Vaibhav, are you guys good?
Yes.
Sachin,
Sanmukha? Hmm?
how this thing is like going to push this project to the server? For that, we have some special steps, or we need to give some commands, or how?
Which server?
I mean, anywhere. Like if we want to deploy
Production.
our project into the production, then uh,
How you do manually? How you do the deployment manually? Please answer my question first.
no. I mean,
No, 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 this is related to you. You will get the answer. Don't worry. This is related to you. I'm not like just trying to uh, do anything. I'm just asking very simple question. I have one. You have created your code. You have done the.
okay.
You have created a jar file. Okay.
Mm.
How you deploy that into the server?
I'm not aware about jar files, but
Hmm. Whatever like
I,
whatever you do in your company,
yeah,
you do the deployment in your company. Just tell me that.
I use Eldon, and
Hmm.
there are some options only.
There are some options, and you go and like you pass your code and these things there, right?
Yeah,
Means you perform some steps, correct?
yeah, correct.
So same steps you have to put in job. You have to tell the job, run these steps, and then deploy it on this server. And like basically to deploy on the server, either you are deploying it from the Git, or you what you do like you push the code via the WinSCP tool, via the FileZilla tool to the production server, right?
Yeah,
Deploy the code, you have to push the to deploy any application, you have to push the code right into the production server.
yeah, right.
So that how you do via some file transfer mechanism, right? Like via file transfer, or let's say that manually we are putting the files there, okay, copying pasting in the production server, isn't it? Guys, you are getting the concept. The concept is very simple.
I understand. Like we made some project. Suppose in Git we made our code, then we are pushing it here to put in production environment. But how it is going into the production? I mean, this was the question. Maybe
That you have to specify. I have told you Jenkins is not doing anything. How this is running echo command? If I would have not specified that, hey, hi, I am your trainer, will it able to run that?
no. So in commands only we need to specify like our environment.
That is up to you. What kind of repository? What is your requirement? If you are using some Maven repository, then you will use Maven repository. You will use Maven. If you are executing some commands, then you will use commands. If you are using Ant repository, then you will use Ant plugin. That is it. How you are doing the deployment. You might be confused with these Ant and Maven and these things. Normally, normally most of you are like not working in DevOps, so most of you guys are following the traditional approach, and that approach is what, that you are building the project manually by executing some commands, and after you are running some commands manually to deploy it into the production, correct?
Yeah,
To
correct.
come with DevOps, for everything there is a tool. For everything there is a tool.
Mm.
And as for everything there is a tool, so you are achieving all those things with the help of, with the help of those tools.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Fine.
Any other questions? I hope this is clear with everyone. Now let's talk about users, which would be the last topic for the day. Users and things. If I say, let's say you have 10 people of team. Taking example again, Prasad is the senior manager, Saurabh is the manager, and Bhavita and other Yash and Umang and Aman, all these people are part of this team. Now, when we all are part of this team, based on that, let's say, Aman, Yash and Umang are developer. Babita is tester. I am the QA person. Like I am also into fall into testing category only. And again, so mainly three people we have: developer, tester, and one is manager is my admin. Okay, Saurabh is admin. Now, as an admin or as a developer, I will not want like few things to see. Okay, or as a tester, I will not want few other things to see. So I have to control this access. I have to control this access level. To control this access level, we have to create the different users and give them the proper access. How we can do that? Go to manage Jenkins. This is very important thing to understand. Be focused. Go to manage users. Right now, user ID is admin and he is Prasad. I'll create one more user. Say username is Sachin. Password is Sachin. Create user. I'll create one more user. I want to change something for this user. I'll go to configure. Basically, I want to change his role. So you can get it configured from here. Anyways, let's go back to people. Now I have these three people. Okay. Saurabh as a tester, Sachin as a developer. Let me log out. I'll log in as Sachin. Again, I am able to see everything. I am able to see all the things. So I don't want to see all these things. I don't want to see this manage Jenkins option. What I'll do, I'll go to my admin. I'll go to manage Jenkins. I'll go to configure global security. Now in this, if you want to disable this realme, you can do that. If you want to put the security regime as LDAP or Unix databases, you can select all these things. Let's come to authorization strategy. Now authorization, if you want that anyone can do anything, okay, or logged in users can do anything. So any logged in user right now can do anything. Okay, let's say we have to come to authorization and we have to do matrix based security. This matrix based security says that who all can do what, who all can run a job, who all can run any view anything, can do SCM and these stuff. Now in this, I'll add the users. I'll add the username as Sachin. See, it added. I'll add the username as Saurabh. It has added the users. Now, once it is done, I have to do job read for Sachin. No. Job read for Sachin and job read for Saurabh. Why it is not showing? And job read for Saurabh. You see, he is a tester. So it gives his name. Okay. And I have not given any configure option. I have not given any build option. I'll just go and save and apply. Sorry, apply and save. I'll log out again. And I will log as Sachin. Sachin is missing the overall read permission. Means now the access which I have, it is not having, because I have not given the access to view the things also. Okay, I have not given the access to Sachin to view the things also. Let me re-grant the access. So under configure global security, under authorization, you will have this. And what I'll do, like I will just give him overall read permission to both of them. Save. Sachin. Sachin. How come it is possible? I've given him overall read permission, right? Yep. So I missed that authenticated users part. Sorry. Now you see that I can see the same. I can see this build. Now that manage Jenkins option which was there, it gone. Build history is there, but you see, I don't see anything. I just see changes. I can't even build a project. Okay, I can't even build the project here. Okay, I can't even create a project. Okay, this is how you can restrict your users. But the problem is one user, two user, fine. What I will do if I will have 100 users? How I am going to control that? If I have 100 users, for that 100 users to control, there is a plugin. Keep a note of that plugin. That plugin name is known as role-based strategy for users. Role, you see there is no role like plugin here. Let's go back here, available. This is the plugin name as role-based authorization strategy. This plugin is there. Click this plugin, download now, or let's say install without restart. Let it get installed. It will only reflect once the Jenkins will restart. So now I will restart it. After this, my Jenkins will restart automatically. आजा भाई. Up. Now I'll go to manage Jenkins. I'll go to configure global security. And now you will see that plugin would given one more option named as role-based authorization.
Scroll down.
This is role-based strategy. Okay. It has given role-based strategy. Earlier this option was not there. So what we'll do, we'll select this role-based strategy. We'll apply. And save it. Now you'll see this comes under uncategorization. Earlier it was not there as manage and assign roles. I'll go to here, manage and assign, and now I will create my roles here. I'll go to manage roles. Let's say I create a role name as developer. I will add it, and I'll give, let's say I'm giving overall read permission to developer. Okay, I can add it. In fact, I can add the patterns. What kind of pattern I can add? That dev role to add developer pattern. Let's say that dev star means if any project is starting with dev star, or if any name is starting with this, so it will be like this. I can configure it. Okay, and if you want to remove something, you can remove it from here. So similarly, you can create a role for tester. Let's say you have created this role developer. Apply, save. Now assign roles. Now Prasad is admin. Okay. Now if you want users or group to add, so if you want Saurabh to add, and we'll give him only the developer access. So we'll create a role and all those users will be added into that roles. These things can be done from CLI also. You have to refer to the CLI command line things. Okay. But this is how you can manage your role. Okay, and this is how you can create the users, give them the proper access. You can create the roles and assign the users for that particular role.
Sachin, what is item roles and all other?
Yeah, item roles. Okay.
Node roles.
Yep. Node roles is we'll talk about when we'll talk about Jenkins master slave architecture. That is for master slave. Now in the manage role, there are two more roles. One is item roles, another one is this node roles. Item role is nothing, that is your project role which I have added. Means if I assign this kind of role, so it will that particular user can able to see only that particular item. We are creating that project, right, by clicking on new item. So if I say the dev star, this is the pattern for the developer role. Okay, and he can create only this kind of a pattern role. He can create some job with this. These are the things which I am done. Apply and save. Assign roles. Given him the user developer role. In item role, I'll add him. Given him the developer role. Apply. Save. Now you see, earlier I was able to see that test project, right, which is created. Now I'm not able to see that because I will able to see only those items which are starting with dev star. This is known as the project based role. Good question, Saurabh.
Okay.
This shows that how focused you guys are. So this is how you can assign the project-based role, okay, and do the things. This is all about user roles and these things, okay. And you can, so we have created our job. We saw that how we can create the jobs, okay, and how we can run those jobs. Well, we saw the entire UI options. We saw how you can install the plugins, how you can assign the user roles and these things. Now, what is the time? We still have few minutes. Let's try to do something new. Let's say job 1 freestyle project. Okay. I'm doing add build step as just one small thing here, that execute shell command as. Okay, leave it. Let's just keep it as a default. We have created job 1. Similarly, I'll create job 2, and I'm not going to do anything. I'll just put it as a default. And I'll create one more job. Job 3, freestyle project. Okay. Save and apply. I have created 3 jobs. I have 3 jobs named as job 1, job 2, job 3. I want that if I build job 1, it should automatically build job 2, and then it should build job 3 automatically. Let's see how we can do that. We'll go here, we'll configure job 1. Let's say I want to do that after this job has built, build other projects. And what is that project? Job 2. Job 2 is my other project which I want to build. Save. You see, now relationship started getting job 1 downstream project, job 2. Okay. Now I want job 3 to be executed after my job 2 has been built. Remember, there are 2 different things we are going to do here. Okay. Keep your ears here. We are going to do 2 different things. Job 1, after job 1 has built, run job 2. Job 3 should run once job 2 has been run. So in job 1, we have added post build action, because after job 1 run job 2. Here I want once job 2 has run, then run job 3. Means I have to trigger this build when build after other projects are built. Which is that other project? Job 2 is my other project. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? You can specify more jobs by putting a comma. Build other projects after other projects are built. This is known as the job chaining. You see, job 3 also has job 2 as an upstream project. There it was downstream. Job 1 run job 2. Job 2, once job 2 is run and it is success, then only run job 3, else don't run it. Saurabh, answer to your question. If you don't want to run any job or anything, I don't want to build anything. Ideally, you have to here create different projects like that. Now, I will be running only job 1 and let's see what it is going to do. Build now. I have run it, build now. Let's see, job 1, it failed. And why it failed? Let's see. Console output, it will tell you why it failed. It says command execution failed. Oh, so this means no such file or directory. Something is wrong with the configuration. Back to project. Configure. Let's see what wrong we have done. Okay, this. Don't want to add any build step. Save it. See one thing more, guys. It got failed after that. If you see job 2 status, it didn't ran only because we made it it as that. You see there is no build history because it didn't run only. Because we said that if build is stable, then only run it. If build is unstable, if you would have told, it would have ran it. Build now. Job 1. Let's build it again. Now this time it is success. Wow. If it is success, let's refresh. Job 2 should is success. Let's see the output from here. Console output. You see, triggering a new build of job 2. Okay. Now let's see the job 2. Let's see the job 2 output. It is job 2 is passed. Console output. Triggering a new build of job 3. Job 1 started by upstream project. Job 1 build number 2. From console output you can get to know which build number created this. Okay, which build number created this. You can see this is the build number 2, which basically was for job 1. It created your job 2. Okay, and it created your job 3. This is
Sachin, is this the only way to configure, or do they have any graphical interface as well?
Graphical interface means?
Because I will tell you, I worked on a tool called UCD, which is something parallel to this. So we also had similar concept of what you're showing now, dependencies and prerequisites. So, but over there we were having a graphical tool through which we were able to draw this basically. So the dependencies. So I used to place job 1 and then let's say job 2 and job 3, and then place arrows if successful, what to do if fail. Because now you are only showing 3, but if I relate to my old project or the previous project which I worked, we almost had 32 jobs like this.
Okay.
So if I start doing this like that, it will be a bit tough for having all the dependencies, and then some jobs can run in parallel, some jobs can run only after one another. So I was thinking that do they have any kind of UI where I can do it more easily?
So there is no such UI actually. You can create your own views which you want to see by clicking on that plus symbol, and you will see only these jobs for your view. And the pipeline concept, I think, is the one which you are talking about, the graphical one. But apart from that, so you can run via the CLI, but the thing which you are seeing, the drag and drop kind of a scenario, that is not there.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's fine. And yeah, my feeling was that this will be done something in an Jenkins pipeline, right?
Yes, it is done in that also. Yes, it is.
Okay, so we'll see that tomorrow.
Yep.
But Sachin, correct me if I'm wrong. So these jobs which you have created, the job 1, job 2, and job 3, these are basically, say for me, these are 3 different projects, right? which will be interlinked.
Right.
And when you say pipeline, pipeline has a different concept altogether, right? Or is it the same?
The same only. You are creating a pipeline, one for a build pipeline, one deploy. In that also you will be doing, you will be configuring at the end jobs only. Jobs of these things are what I will tell you. Just 1 minute. दो तीन की अरे yeah. So in Jenkins terminologies, basically job is something which, like whatever you are configuring, okay, these are like what, these are your runnable tasks, or you can call it as a project also, like as I said earlier. So like, right, this is the project only which you are going to run it, okay, and in that one, see, one project will be for build, okay, one will be for deployment, and one will be for test. These ways you will be configuring 3 projects, right?
No, Sachin. So, see, what I was referring to when Prasad asked this question. So, when we have 3 jobs, job 1, job 2, and job 3. So, what I understand, these are 3 separate projects which will have dependencies to each other. So I have had dependent libraries into job 1. So I wanted to build that and deploy that. Then only my build 2 can start its own build and deployment. And similarly for job 3, they will go through their own life cycle. But when I say pipeline will be for a single project, and that in that I will have a single build step. Over here I have 3 build steps for 3 jobs.
True.
Right?
Yes, you got it correct. Different pipeline will be a different concept completely. But before pipeline, we have to see a lot of other things also. So whatever I wanted to show you guys, that
and also, Sachin, one question I have. So there was, if you go to job 2, I saw one tab which was showing save build forever or something at the top right. If you go to keep this build forever, what is this option at the right?
means after some, okay, so these builds will, like, so you will be have some kind of a housekeeping, right? That after some, let's say you reach 100 builds, after that you want to delete some build. Okay, you don't want to keep those builds, previous old builds you want to discard, right? So when you configure the job, you get options, right? Discard old builds. I'll show you here. If you select this option now, discard old build, okay, so what it will do, it will delete the previous build. But if you select keep this build forever, so it will not delete that. Discard old builds mean that if you check this, what it will do, it will delete whatever the builds and things which are there, it will delete that.
Okay.
So if you select this, discard old builds, it is a log rotation strategy. Days to keep builds, 2 days. Maximum of builds to keep, 13. Okay. It is a log rotation strategy which you can apply. But if you click on keep this for build forever, so it will see that, okay, you want to keep this build, so it will not discard this. It will skip that.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else has any questions?
Sajid, tomorrow are you also going to cover the blue-green deployment, or basically deployment onto a different server, and how in actual we can do on a production?
So ideally, I would be going to see. I will be showing you with some sample Git repo, that with how that would Git repo you can pull it and you can trigger the jobs and these things.
Okay.
So that is
No,
like
but
kind of
now what you have shown is the CI part of it. I'm talking about the CD part of it. So when you're deploying onto the servers, and
not on
like
the
you said,
I'll not be showing you to deploy on the server, but I'll show you how you can deploy it locally.
okay, that's fine. Anything is fine. But when we are deploying locally or on the server, the only thing which I want to see is how we can do. If I have a set of 4 servers, how I can do first 2 servers at first, and then next 2 servers, something like that. So will you be showing that?
First 2 servers first, next 2 means the job training, right?
Practically in production, you will not deploy it on all the servers at once, because that will give you a downtime. For that, we'll have something called as blue-green deployment. That is, half of the servers will be taken to the version 2, and then the half of the servers, so that there is no interruption to the client. So will you be covering that or not, or it will be not there?
So ideally, like as a use case, it will not be there, but that use case is similar to the one which we learned right now, the job chaining process.
No, not exactly.
You will be writing. I'll tell you how to do that. Don't worry, I'll tell you how.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And second thing I would request is if you can make a video of the steps what we did for EC2 today and pass it to
I
us.
think
It
now
will be
it's
good.
already covered. I think now it's already covered, right, Prasad? Because when we were discussing with Babita at that time, so this is all about this. We'll discuss few more things tomorrow. I'll share the things. I'll share the steps with you guys, and so Umang was facing some issue, right? Or your issue resolved, Umang? You were.
No, it's not resolved yet. Actually, getting the same error.
Can we connect tomorrow? I didn't have lunch also, man.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. If no other question, thank you guys. Thank you everyone. Prasad, I'll speak to you.
Yeah.